On August 20th, 1966, a boy flying a kite on a hillside outside Rio de Janeiro looked down and saw two men lying side by side in the grass. They were dressed in matching suits and raincoats. Their eyes were covered by two handmade metal masks. And more than 50 years later, nobody has ever explained how or why they died. The men were Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel José Viana, two electronics technicians from a small city called Campos dos Goitacazes, about 170 miles from where their bodies were found. They were ordinary men, married, well-liked, skilled at fixing radios and televisions for a living. On the morning of August 17th, they told their families they were heading out of town to buy work supplies and a used car. Instead, they took a bus in the opposite direction toward the coastal city of Niterói. Witnesses later placed them there that afternoon. They bought two identical raincoats at a local shop. They stopped at a bar for a bottle of water, and the bartender specifically remembered that one of them kept nervously checking his watch as though they were due somewhere at a specific time. They kept the receipt for the water bottle, the kind of small, practical detail you'd only bother with if you expected to come back and get your deposit later. They never came back. 3 days passed before anyone found them, lying peacefully on a wooded hillside called Morro do Vintém. There was no sign of a struggle, no visible injuries. Their wallets still held cash. Their watches had been carefully removed and placed in a small plastic bag beside them, rather than simply left on their wrists. And then there were the masks, two crude eye coverings cut from sheets of lead, the kind of material used to block radiation, resting over their closed eyes, held on with simple loops of wire. Nearby lay an empty water bottle, two towels, and a small notebook. The notebook was the strangest piece of the entire case. Written inside, in clumsy handwriting, was a short sequence of numbered instructions. A time to be at the agreed location, a time to take some kind of capsule, a note about protecting metal afterward, and a final line about waiting for a signal involving the masks. It read less like a suicide note and more like a set of operating directions for something neither man had apparently done before. An autopsy was performed, but the men's bodies had already decomposed too much in the tropical heat for a clean toxicology result. The official cause of death was listed simply as indeterminate. No trauma, no obvious poisoning, no clear answer of any kind. Investigators dug into who these men actually were and found something the case's ordinary surface hadn't suggested. Friends described both men as deeply interested in spiritualism, the idea that focused ritual or specific technical methods might allow contact with something beyond ordinary perception. Some acquaintances believed the two had set out that day expecting to witness something bright, powerful enough that they thought they'd need eye protection against it. Others in the local electronics community floated a very different theory, that the men had been quietly building some kind of experimental device, one that might produce a blinding flash or dangerous radiation, and the masks were simple, practical safety gear for testing it. No such device was ever found. Neither theory has ever been confirmed. No capsules were recovered, no signal, no device, no answer. For decades, the case has drifted between two very different kinds of retellings. In sensational corners of the internet, it's framed as a UFO encounter or an alien abduction gone wrong. In more grounded accounts, investigators lean towards something sadder and more plausible. Two men caught up in a ritual or belief system that convinced them this sequence of steps was safe when it very much wasn't. What's not in dispute is what was found on that hillside. Two capable, rational, professionally skilled men who left home telling their families one story, followed a very specific set of written instructions to a very specific location, and were dead within within hours, wearing masks they'd made with their own hands for a purpose nobody left behind to explain. If you found a notebook with numbered instructions telling you exactly where to stand and exactly what to wait for, would curiosity have gotten you up that hill too?